Hello, I am live. It's Tuesday the 12th of September 2023. I'm reading out of Joan Grants' farm memory book, Eyes of Horus. She wrote books about her own farm memories, and they are wonderful books, and that's why I'm reading them aloud. This one, in this life, she is Ra-A, an heir to the ORYX, which is a nomarch in Egypt. I guess it's land masses, because this place 3,500 years BC. So it's a long time ago. And the ORYX, the nomarch of ORYX, is peaceful. But there is much corruption and evil in Egypt, and people are worshipping Set. And there is an army which is building, which is called the Watchers, and Ra-A is now, I think 18, is on the lookout for the Watchers to unite them in time for the fighting, I suppose. We are here in chapter 4, it's the fourth part of the book, and my battery ran out. He has met the girls of his dreams, who has met him and recognized him as one of the of the subject of her Dreamtime meeting, because I didn't know who they were, each other. Anyway, now I'm just wondering where exactly I finished. When did you know it was me you were waiting for? I think it was as soon as I noticed you sitting alone and saw that you often looked at me. I pretended I only wanted to speak to you because you looked so lonely, and it was my duty towards you as a guest. When I heard your voice, I was sure I had seen you before, and had done you a discourtesy in giving you the first greeting. I was confused that I could not remember your name when I seemed to know it so well. Your eyes, only your eyes were as I had always known them what they would be. That's why I didn't recognize you in the distance. Your eyes held the same recognition which I knew was in mine. Then why did you treat me as a stranger yesterday? How could I tell you my heart when people were watching us? Oh, Ra, my love, we are two petals of the same flower, yet, as the daughter of Ramois and the son of the ORYX, we have been taught to speak a different idiom. I have heard of the ORYX, and I know that you have not had to follow the manifold concealments which have made my life. Sometimes I think that the whole of the royal household has no more substance than a painted frieze, as though we were all part of a pattern designed by a long-dead drawing scribe. When I attended the banquet where we met, I thought it would be like 100 others. The women would wear different dresses, and the food and flowers change with the season, but the pattern would be the same. For if the colors of a tomb painting were altered, the ghosts who whisper among the funeral meats would not change the rhythm of their complaint. Ghosts are jealous of the living, and if they knew that I no longer share their company because you have taken me from their whispering shade, they would combine to get me back. Anyone who tries to break the mold in which their lives are cast is treated as an enemy who must be destroyed. I have refused to marry, but that has been forgiven because I'm young, and because they suspect my refusal is born of ambition. The younger son of Pharaoh has not yet chosen his royal wife. If I told even the women nearest me, those whom I count most loyal, that I waited for a lover to join me from a dream, they would have whispered that madness has touched me on the forehead, and fire among stored grain travels more slowly than whispers among idle women. My father would have defended himself against the slur of having an afflicted child by marrying me to a husband of his choosing, and it would never be difficult to find a husband for the daughter of a man so powerful as my father. How could he have made you marry against your will? Is it against the law of Egypt that a woman should take a husband who is not of her free choice? I should not have been forced. At least they would not have called it so. It would have been allowed. I would have been allowed the alternative of going into the royal temple in time to become a priestess, who followed every design which furthered the power of the false priests. Or if I had the strength to refuse to give my will to them, well, there are many who die before their initiation. While she was speaking, I realized that as soon as it was known that we loved each other, she would share the danger in which I was living. If I were taken as a spy, she would die by torture. I must rescue her at once from these strangers among whom she has been born in exile and take her to the protection of the Watchers. I held her close. We must escape to the ORYX tonight as my wife. Even your father will have lost his power over you. Then I told her of the Watchers and why I had to come to the royal city. I concluded, so even if Pharaoh sent an army to bring you back, you would have to conquer more than half his kingdom before he could compose his will. For the Watchers will fight if one of their number is threatened, and he who joins battle with the ORYX must challenge the warriors of every southern known. While I talked, I had been planning our escape. You must come with me to the house of the copper merchant, who is the first link in the chain between me and Royden. I think we shall go by river, perhaps in a grain barge or trading ship. There are several ways by which we could travel in secret. We may have to go from village to village and lie hidden during the day, moving only by night, when we shall be disguised as fishermen who cast their net under the moon. I hope that we shall travel slowly alone together, as I have dreamt of for so long. Now it will be... Hello, sweetie. Now it will be a dream from which we shall wake to find ourselves together. She sighed, and my arms tightened around her. Her hair beneath my lips was smooth and fragrant as sun-warmed fruit. Why do you sigh, my dear? Because I want to go with you to the ORYX tonight. Because I do not want to return to the stupid pattern of my ordinary life, even for a little while. Then there is no need for sighs. You are coming to the ORYX before it is dark. We shall have started on our journey. She shook her head. No, Rab. That is a dream which we must wait to share. You cannot betray the Watchers, and for the love of you and for the gods, I too belong to them. You have been sent here to discover who must be cut down and who will be left to flourish, and who is better placed than I to help you. It is through women that you can best learn of the men, for even the wives of high officials chatter of their husbands as freely as market women. I have a few initiates amongst them, but in obedience to my father's wishes, I am guest or hostess to all the women of importance in the household. They will find I take a new interest in wifely gossip, and they will smile, thinking it is because I have at least chosen a husband, and so will be eager to enlighten me on how men may be coerced to a woman's will. By their advice to me, I shall learn the merit of their husbands, and if there are any among them whose marriage is our marriage, I shall know it by their silence. For those who are joined by love need no counsel save their own heart. Oh, Rab, my dear beloved, it is going to be so difficult for us to go through the slow formalities of a betrothal according to the custom. I shall have to pretend to be blind to your preferences for me, and only gradually must my attendants find that I make excuse to be alone with you. I prepared them today by saying that I had some state business to discuss with you in my father's absence. They were not surprised, for it is not the first time I have done this. My father knows that sometimes a man tells more to a girl than he would to a high official. How long must I wait for you? How many days must we waste on this shadow of reality? A few weeks, perhaps it may even be less, before I dare tell my father that I wish to take you as my husband. He will not refuse his approval, for he will be grateful that I have chosen someone so suitable as your father's son. Dear Rab, I am so grateful that the gods did not send you as a fisherman, or me as the daughter of a foreign merchant's concubine. It might have been easier, for then there would have been no need to watch the dead formalities creep slowly forward. She laughed and ran her fingers through my hair. These days, 3 days ago we might have measured the time of our meeting in years, and already are impatient that love must wait on our betrothal. Our marriage may have to be according to the laws of the royal gnomes, but it shall be your priest who joins us in the name of Tatar when we reach our home in the ORYX. It will be the first real home that I have ever known. Already the river mist was rising to bloom the purple evening as I kissed my beloved, whom tomorrow I must greet with all formality. Right, this is the end of chapter 4. Something else needs my attention.